Welcome to the Business Owner Spotlight Series. My name is Gabriel Moore. I am the senior partner and head coach here at Action Coach Vanguard here in Central Iowa. Today, I have Kevin Vaughan-Carber, the owner of F45 Training Ankeny, as my guest. We're going to be talking about his business, journey to business ownership, challenges, best practices, and share a peek of what it's really like to build and operate a business. If this is your first time on our channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop new conversations just like this one. Kevin, man, welcome, and thank you so much for being here today.
Hey, thanks for having me. Yep, I'm happy to
Absolutely.
share my story and hopefully, someone takes something positive away from it.
Yeah, I guarantee they will. That's a fact. Give me a brief overview of your background and tell us myself, the audience, a little bit about your business.
Sure. So I'm from West Des Moines originally, born and raised in the Des Moines area. Graduated from Dowling High School in 2015 and Drake University in 2019.
Right
And
on.
then I had always kind of wanted to, and my professional background was in finance. So my degrees were finance and quantitative economics, which I know nothing like fitness. And I always kind
Everything
of
like fitness, right?
wanted to, yeah, right, absolutely, some ways they go together. But I had wanted to move out of the Des Moines area and kind of experience somewhere new for a little bit after I graduated. So I moved to Connecticut and started working at an investment fund there as an analyst. And I really liked the job, really liked the people I worked with, but I never saw myself kind of in that industry forever, and also
Sure.
kind of had it in my head I wanted to come back to the Midwest, in some capacity, Des Moines, or, one
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
other
yeah.
cities there. Fitness had always been a very strong personal passion of mine. Kept my head on straight, and was like, part of my identity, one of my favorite hobbies. But never really saw it as a career path until it
Sure.
was out
Okay.
there that I discovered F45. There was a location in Connecticut that was a really big, thriving studio, awesome workouts, great community. And it's a publicly traded company, so I
Okay.
briefly looked at the franchisor as a potential stock investment. And for like various reasons, as a fund, we passed on an investment in the franchisor at the time. But for franchisees, the economics and the path there looked pretty neat. So I kind of had this light bulb moment where, well, what if I move back to Des Moines, close to my friends and family, started fresh in an industry that I'm very personally passionate about, and got to
Right.
own my own business. So that's kind of my story there. Moved back here in fall or late summer of 22. And then F45 Ankeny, we had our first class January 28th of 2023.
Let's go. Yeah. And I love that how you married a passion of yours, a personal passion of yours, with kind of like the business thing. Quantitative economics, man. That's a little
Sure.
different than
Yep.
fitness, right? But you're right, though. Those as a business owner, though, some of those things are going to be incredibly important for you when it comes to analytics, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The I mean, I took so many skills away from my former career, but the
Sure.
biggest one was probably being able to like think critically about a potential investment. And even this as a business owner, when I'm putting my life savings and then some into it, it's absolutely an
Hmm.
investment, right?
It absolutely is.
Do
Yeah.
the due diligence steps of talking to other franchisees, thinking critically about things like, what's the structure of their business, what's the
Right.
competitive dynamics, the market trends, and being able to take my views and distill them into, a financial model, and, put the numbers on paper and say like, yeah, this would be a good idea and something that could be, viable for me to do. So it
Heck
was like
yeah.
really that confidence of being able to say like, yes, I've done a good job here, and then being able to take that step.
Well, tell us a little bit about like what role you're currently playing in the business. Like,
So
are you?
I
Go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, we have an investment group of which I'm the largest owner. And that's comprised of, myself, a handful of my former bosses, and my mom. So little family involvement there. I am the kind of chief operator though. So right now at Ankeny, I kind of serve as the quote unquote studio manager, where I,
Okay.
manage the studio and the employees, kind of run point on the, sales and marketing process, coach a handful of classes through the week. But then also, we purchased three territories originally. So this is F45 one of three in the Des Moines area. And
Right.
then my job is also, oversee the openings of those studios and kind of sit at the top of the pyramid for, down the road when we have more employees than we do now.
Awesome. When you look at your current role right now, studio manager, and then you've got all this growth that you need to do with those other three territories. What are you looking at currently with working in the business versus working on the business? Like, how many hours do you think, percentage wise, or just general in hours, you working inside of the business, managing, either put out fires, actually running the classes or anything like that? And then how many hours are you working on the business, the territory stuff, the growth, the projections, things like that?
Sure. That's a great question. And to be honest, like, I don't count my hours in a week because I feel like I would get bummed out if I did. It's definitely like you definitely have to be comfortable, putting on different hats all the time. So it's a good solid mix of the two. And over time, as we scale, I certainly expect that to transition more towards a like, thinking more strategically from a business owner perspective rather than like, but I mean, just today, like I refilled the body wash in the showers, so I do do plenty of that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Also. Just
As you might
you
have to at the
be,
very beginning too, maybe, right?
have to be
Depending on where you're at.
comfortable, yeah, have to be comfortable doing both. I mean, I definitely work more hours now than I used to, but also a lot of that time is like spent around people who are exercising and, in an
Right.
environment that I love being in. So it doesn't always feel like work too.
I bet. Yeah, I bet. Who primarily does your business serve? Like, I want to kind of figure out what makes F45 so special, right? So if I was your target audience, if I was a target audience, what do I look like? What do I feel like? What am I doing? Who am I?
Sure. So there are there are a few different ways to answer that question. So the first is, kind of nationwide, about 80% of F45 members are between 25 and 45. And then maybe like 2/3, give or take, are women. So
Okay.
that's kind of, and then, it's a studio fitness business, which is where, you have the high touch of like trainers in the classes and, the workouts programmed for you. It's a small group setting. You get like, more of a hands-on personalized experience, but then that also comes with a more premium cost structure versus, some
Sure.
like box gyms. So it tends to be a higher income person also.
Okay.
But then one of the things that I love about the F45 model is the workouts are very carefully designed to be adaptable to a variety of people. So
Wow.
like
Okay.
when I say, 80% of the folks are between like 25 and 40,
Yeah.
that does not at all exclude, really anything. And our members in Ankeny range from like their, 20 and in college to their
Right.
like approaching 70 and just kind of getting started with their fitness journey.
Sure.
So, you work with people, variety of, ages, genders, body types, like, outlooks on fitness. So what really unifies everybody is just like, they want to better themselves physically. They had kind of the enough outgoingness to want to take the plunge and come somewhere new. And they, value their time and the efficiency of a 45-minute workout.
That's outstanding, man. And to be part of a program, we also share that in the sense between our two different businesses. To be part of a business that where our clientele is like that, their personal mindset is higher than most, and they really want to achieve something greater than themselves, or at least better themselves a little bit each day. And I think that's very important to life, personally, in my opinion.
Sure. It's an energizing group of people to be around,
Yeah, no
folks that are,
doubt. No
folks
doubt.
that they like, they want, and like the workouts aren't easy. It's someone who really values improving themselves enough to go and, for like Siobhan, for example, it takes a special kind of person to be there 5 a.m. Wednesday morning cardio, right? So,
Period.
yep. And then they're people who are like, busy and have other interesting things going on in their lives. And sometimes they get to share, a little bit of that with me, before or after classes. And it's just like, I feed on their energy just as much as they do mine.
That's cool. What would be like one thing that you wish more people knew about your business?
That's another great question. And I appreciate that you gave me some of these beforehand so I could kind of take some time to think about it. But
Well, don't
there
divulge all
are,
my secrets, Kevin.
yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, you can edit that one out. No, so there are kind of kind of two things there that I want to say. The first one is, a lot of the, like, we kind of hear two big reasons why someone doesn't want to come in and, give us a try for the first time.
Okay.
The first one is, for whatever reason, someone is kind of nervous or uncomfortable about, joining a new workout program.
That
Like
would be me.
maybe they've had a bad experience in the past. Maybe they feel like, I'm not in shape now and I'm gonna die after a first workout, or, everyone's gonna be like laughing at me, as
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
struggle to do
Everybody's
this
looking at me.
exercise.
Yeah.
And so like the first one is just, we have such a supportive community where everyone has been in that position before to like
Oh,
struggle
great.
to do their I don't care how fit somebody is, like they were a
Right.
first timer at some point. And anyone with a good head on their shoulders should, recognize that and appreciate it. And then us
Yeah.
trainers will like bend over backwards to make somebody feel comfortable, both interpersonally and fitness wise, like get you all set up for class. If the workout, like there's anything that you don't want to do or can't do, like we'll modify it for you.
Yeah.
We'll walk you through that first class and like make you feel as comfortable as possible if you just communicate that to us and give us a chance. And then
Nice.
the other one is, we always hear a lot that, someone doesn't have time for fitness. That's the other one. And anyone, I
Which is
believe, like,
weird.
yeah, right. It's and like
Because
there's,
everybody has the
so much.
same amount of time every day, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we all have 24 hours. Go ahead.
And you could eat, like you could go through the, oh, you have this many minutes in a week and you're telling me you
Yeah.
can't devote, 2 hours to a workout, but like
Right.
it's not even that. Like I get, like everyone's busy and everyone has different priorities, but
Right.
like fitness, just actually moving well, taking care of your body makes you more productive and efficient in all other areas. Where like, and there's
Yes,
some
it
great
does.
research out there that like some people who have consistent workout routines, they're more energetic. It's easier for them to sit down and focus, and they sleep better at night. All three of those things lead you to being more productive at your job and get more enjoyment out of that time you spend, with your family or your friends or doing your other hobbies. Where like if you take that time as an investment into taking care of your body, it pays dividends and gets you more out of all those other areas of life.
It's hard for people to kind of believe that at times, right?
It
I mean,
is.
especially if they're stuck in this habitual mindset of it will never work or can't work. It works with you, but it doesn't work with me, and I feel compassion towards them because believe it or not, I was actually one of those people at one time in my life, and maybe you were too, I'm not sure, but it's a transition. It really is a transition to kind of find the value in that. And I appreciate that there are businesses out there like yours that are for those people that are able to transition to those new values and or people that already have those values and just want to impress upon them even more, right?
Right. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So how many different marketing strategies y'all do you guys use?
We quite a few, really.
Okay.
So, our most successful is kind of, a two-pronged approach. And so we like most of our marketing budget goes towards Facebook and Instagram ads,
Okay.
which I kind of consider a bit of a necessary evil. Just cast a wide net. It's nowhere near as efficient as you would, hope for it to be or would like it to
Right.
be. But that's
Right.
also just the best way to, inform people of your existence who otherwise wouldn't find it. But
Wide net.
then
Yeah.
the most effective, best way is just word of mouth from people who have tried your gym and are happy with it. So like someone goes and tells their friends about us. Like I wish I could find a way to kind of squeeze more juice out of that. But it's
Right.
just like that's our favorite way to get people.
Do you?
We've
Oh, go ahead.
tried. We do quite a bit of like community events. We're members of the Chamber of Commerce, so anytime they have something, we're around. We try to, set up tables at other, complimentary like health and wellness businesses in
Yep.
Ankeny. And, like that's where I met,
That's where we met.
Siobhan
Yeah,
most
that's where
recently.
we
Yeah.
met.
And then we experimented with a LinkedIn direct marketing, which also that worked pretty well for a while.
Okay.
Where like I will send a friend request to folks who have LinkedIn profiles that say like we're in Ankeny, and then shoot them a
Right.
friendly initial message like, hey, I'm new business owner of the area, would you like to like to hear more about my gym or come in for a free trial.
Okay.
Then we tried some Google stuff. Anytime we've tried something that has like a printing or like copies in magazines or
Right.
mail that's sent to people's homes, that hasn't worked too well, but we tried it.
Okay. So the number one, though, in your mind is kind of word of mouth and or Facebook and Instagram at this time.
Yep. Hmm.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay. What approach do you take to track your leads? I mean, you got to have inquiries. Do you have a CRM that you guys use in order to kind of just pick that together? I did see your website. Maybe that's got
Yep.
something that really helps out.
So this is standard for every F45 franchise.
Okay.
The franchisor has relationships with MindBody, which is the
Ah,
most popular studio fitness like payments slash manage your memberships slash your customers
got it.
CRM. And then so we use that. That's just like what tracks everyone who has at any point given us their contact information and come in for a class. And then
Okay.
we have a software called Loyal Snap, which can track if you have a sales team, like they could, text and call and email people from there and can track like how frequently you communicated with somebody and
Okay.
do you want to, schedule follow-ups. But my
It's like
what I
pipeline
like to use,
management.
yep, and
Mhm.
that software works pretty well. But I sometimes at the expense of efficiency, I like to be extra hands-on with stuff. So I also
Yeah.
keep my own tabs in just a Google sheet of like, people that are in,
Sure.
maybe they're trialers, they're ex-members, they're leads who haven't came in yet. And I'll, jot down notes about people and contact times in there.
Hey, the power of a simple spreadsheet, it's still there. I mean, it's not going
Mhm.
away. There's so many apps out there that really leverage technology for us today, but honestly, even I still use some spreadsheets in certain instances to track certain numbers. So it's no, it's still good. Google Sheets, Excel. I'm an Excel guy, but
Yep.
Google Sheets are just as good, just as good.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I mean, from my finance background, definitely Excel also, but the pro to Google Sheets
right.
is like other you could very easily share it with other employees.
Yeah, it's not so they're very compatible. We spent a bunch of time focused on the business and sharing a few of the best practices. Why did you choose to go into business for yourself? Why didn't you like what was the real feeling? What was the feeling that you were experiencing?
Um, I mean, I've always felt I think I did a strengths finders test a while back,
Yeah,
and like
yeah, you bet.
one of my strengths was whatever their synonym for self-confidence is. So I've always been confident in my abilities to go and navigate uncharted waters.
Okay,
So that part was like I assume that'd be kind of a little scary for some people, but for me that was exciting. And
sure.
it was my way to like I wouldn't have wanted to enter the fitness industry as an employee for someone else. It was just like I wanted to do this because I'm passionate about it, and I also wanted to
Right.
own it and make it mine.
And on that journey, what was like the most memorable roadblock or hurdle that you were challenged with, or that you were forced to overcome so far since owning F45?
That's another great question.
I love
So yeah, yeah, you got a lot, and you know this before.
them.
So my like I talked about like my background as someone in finance, right? Where I
Yeah.
was very comfortable, thinking through what were the potential, outcomes of an investment, and then, like distilling that knowledge into a spreadsheet. And like,
Right.
marketing, for example, it's okay, you take this marketing budget and then you spend it on, you get this many leads at a cost per lead, and then this percentage of leads turn into trialers, and this percentage of trialers turn into members, and then boom, you have your membership growth, and it's just math. And like, and
Just
I
math.
was,
I
yeah,
love
yeah,
that
it's
you
just
said
math.
that.
And that's, that's not all how it works.
Right.
And when I was making my initial financial models, I figured like, oh, me, like I'm a fitness guy, I'm smart, I work hard. Ankeny's awesome. Like there are a ton of people who,
Yeah, it
like to
is.
do things and have disposable income, and they're all going to want to come into my gym, and it'll be great. And we'll be like, of these F45s I talk to, we'll be like one of the best. And I didn't consider that, right now we're the only F45 in Iowa. I had never sold a gym membership before, or even convinced
This is like
anyone
brand
who,
new.
yeah, even convinced anyone to do fitness who had not wanted to in the past. So it was like my, building my capabilities as an operator, thinking like marketing, sales, management, all that stuff was just like, well, you have these, these great models, but then you have to actually go and do it.
Yeah, you're the
So
primary source of sales, correct?
yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So it was, kind of having that realization like, oh no, we're not automatically going to be successful just because I
Right.
wrote it down. It's like I
Right.
actually have to go and build these skills, and
Yeah.
it's hard, you know. So
Yeah.
that was my like having to. I got a little humbled at the beginning, and
Okay.
then had to like go and reflect and think about the skills I needed to build that I didn't have yet.
Yeah, I can relate in that, owning multiple businesses myself, I can relate in that field, of you don't know what you don't know, and then you don't have experience. You don't just automatically have experience. You actually have to train it. You've got to learn it. You've got to train it, and just like anything else.
Mhm.
We've
Yep.
certainly covered a lot of ground, Kevin, in our conversation. For those who are watching, please come back, take a look at this. A lot of great nuggets that Kevin's talking about. But as we begin to wrap up, I got a few rapid fire questions for you, brother, that are quick top ahead answers for each. One word or one sentence. You ready to rock it?
Sure.
Let's go. What is the key to success for you?
Being flexible, where like if something, being able to approach problems from different angles, always being willing to learn something new, always being willing to take on new tasks, and consider, pieces of mind from people that have more experience than you.
Yeah, like a student mindset. I love that. I love that. What is your one piece of advice for other business owners?
I suppose this relates a lot to just my answer to the last question. There's a Bruce Lee quote that I really like, which is be like water. You know,
Be like water.
when he was going and doing martial arts. It's just you have to wear multiple hats. You know, adapt to things on the fly. Be able to transition from your like computers and financing and realtors and bankers to going to sales and working with people interpersonally to doing physical labor where you're carrying around equipment and just doing like all types of different things at any time.
Yeah, water will find a way. What is one book you're reading now or one that you've read most recently?
I just finished a little bit ago In the Heart of the Sea, which is
Oh,
a
the
book
writer
about
in Moby Dick?
no,
Oh,
it was a story that ended up inspiring Moby Dick, but it's
okay.
and I kind of want to. I know this is supposed to be rapid fire. I do kind of want to talk about that book a little bit, just because there are two nuggets of wisdom from it.
Hit me.
But so it's a book about in the 19th or 18th century, folks in Nantucket who were whalers, who
Mhm.
would go out on these boats for months at a time, leave their families, go hunt these sperm whales, and then take the sperm oil that they get and go back to the island, and that would be the like would drive the economy.
Right.
And so first it was like, when I think about how hard I'm working now, it reminds me how tough people had it once upon a time, where to
Right.
feed your family was you got
Right.
to take 8 months and go on a boat. But then also, the book kind of takes a turn where the there was a sperm whale that ended up ramming one of the boats, and then it broke, and the all the sailors were left stranded at sea.
Mm.
So there were two of these little dinghies, like their main big boat was broken, couldn't be used. But the dinghies were they each had their own like captain of those boats, and so it was like someone who was leading several people on one, and rationing the food and planning for how are we going to get back and find land,
Yeah,
and then another
absolutely
one.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
another one doing the same thing. And one of the captains was, and this is going to kind of be a little dark, but it's a great lesson. One of the captains was more experienced and more disciplined from the beginning. He was a great leader, really took charge, rationed the food diligently from day one, and was like the boss, and we're gonna like follow the rules, and even though it sucks now, like we're gonna do it because it'll suck way less later. And another one
Right.
was still a good leader, but he was a little bit more loose. And so the like that boat, the second one, ended up by the end of the book they were casting lots to decide who are we gonna have to eat, because people were starving and people were dying. And the first
Right.
one brought back pretty much everyone okay. And it's just the values of discipline and these small behaviors over a long period of time can have phenomenally outsized results.
Those are great lessons. Absolutely great lessons. I'm not sure who coined it, but discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs pounds. It's
Sure.
not
Yep.
it's not that hard to understand that. Thank you for sharing that. If you had to choose only one area of your business that you could immediately improve tomorrow, Kevin, what would it be?
Definitely marketing. is
Marketing.
the, yeah, getting, people who are interested in fitness in the door for the first time.
Okay. And before we get into the final question of the day, how can others learn more about you and your company? How can they get in contact?
Definitely follow us on social media. You could go on our website and search about stuff of what does F45 do all the time.
Yeah.
But like, see on our Instagram and Facebook pages, we post stuff about our community and our workouts, and you get to know the trainers, the members, and that's the best way to see us.
Okay, perfect. F45 on Instagram and
Yep.
Facebook.
F45 Training Ankeny.
There you go. F45 Training Ankeny. What is most, and here's the last question of the day. What is most inspiring to you today?
Definitely being around our members. And I mentioned this before, but just, people who take that time out of their day to come see us and better themselves and work on their health. That's something I can always fall back on for inspiration.
Man, what a great and inspiring community that would be like, right? Just all these people trying to be better. We're trying to build that. That's fantastic. That's a really good thing. As we wrap up, Kevin, I wanted to say thank you. You've been an absolutely outstanding interview. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you giving me the chance to share my story. Like I said, hopefully someone listens to it and can take away something positive.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. And thank you for letting me get underneath the hood of your business and look at it with you, shine some light on some stuff that you dealt with and some of the hurdles that you've overcome. But I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you take those next 3 territories and just rock out F45. I can't wait to see Marky Mark back at your place.
Yeah.
And so we can,
hopefully he sees this.
yeah.
So yeah, we got and I didn't mention we Ankeny open now, F45 downtown Des Moines coming this summer. So anyone who's in the Des
Fantastic.
Moines area, be on the lookout for some pre-sale stuff there here soon.
That's cool. Hey, this has been Business Owner Spotlight with Kevin Vaughan-Carber of F45 Training Ankeny, and your host, me, Gabriel Moore, with Action Coach Business Coaching. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next time.
Thanks, Gabriel. Have a great day.
You too.